And her prophets have daubed them with untempered mortar, seeing vanity, and divining lies unto them, saying, Thus saith the Lord God, when the Lord hath not spoken. Ezekiel 22:28. They have plastered your heart with a dry, crumbling mortar, their clever reasoning, their Thus saith the Lord that never came from the living voice within. They prophesy vanity, they conjure lies, and call it divine. Yet the spirit of truth is tempered. It is the very substance of your own imagination made real. Anything else is an unbalanced false god, for no prophecy can stand that is not born of your own realized assumed state. See now, these prophets are but echoes of your own doubt. They offer you borrowed words, hollow promises like cracked walls about to fall. They point outward to institutions, to personalities, to securities that are but shadows, while the only builder is the Lord your God, your human imagination. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you speak the only true Thus saith the Lord. All other voices are the vacuous clatter of untempered mortar. God's wisdom and power express themselves most fully through what the world calls foolishness. The silent acceptance of your desire already fulfilled, the restful faith that he will contrive the means. Prophets without this simple, unshakable trust in the Lord within can only daub lies upon your hope. Break free of their cracked plaster. Know that every word proceeding from the mouth of God is the inward, creative word you feel as fulfilled reality. When you rest in that assumption, when you serve only your imagination, the one true Lord, you collapse every counterfeit prophecy. The walls of falsehood crumble, and the living temple of your own consciousness stands revealed. Then and only then do you hear the genuine, Thus saith the Lord, echoing triumphantly in the chambers of your heart. In Ezekiel 22:28, daubed with untempered mortar and divining lies point us inward to the way our own consciousness mixes possibility and doubt. Read through the lens of awakened imagination, this verse becomes a map of how false mental constructs hide our true creative power and how awakening to our divine role dissolves them. Psychological reading. This text describes two inner voices. One daubs reality with weak, untempered beliefs, patching over our sense of wholeness with fear and limitation. The other divines lies, projecting what does not exist and attributing it to an outside authority. Thus saith the Lord God. Psychologically, these are our own self-doubts and conditioned patterns disguising themselves as spiritual truth. Metaphysical mechanics. Untempered mortar symbolizes unaligned imagination, that is, belief without the vital feeling component. When imagination is unguided by the conviction of fulfillment, it births illusions rather than realities. The false prophet within us attempts to speak creation into being, but without grounding in the I amness, its words carry no power. True manifestation arises when feeling and faith temper the clay of thought, turning ideas into living events. Empowerment key. The secret power here is our innate I am consciousness, imagination itself as the Lord, who speaks worlds into existence. By recognizing that the real prophet is our own conscious awareness, we reclaim the divine prerogative to declare, Thus saith the Lord, and mean it. We become both speaker and spoken to, source and surface, wielding the creative word from the stillness within. Practical Bridge 1. Notice every discouraging thought, untempered mortar, and pause. 2. Replace it by assuming the feeling of your fulfilled desire as though it were fully authorized by your inner Lord. 3. Speak only from that assuming state, declare your wish fulfilled in first-person present tense. 4. Rest in that state, let your outer world realign. When you apply disciplined feeling to your thoughts, your consciousness no longer publishes divining lies. Instead, it broadcasts the true word of your divine origin and creative destiny. Your imagination, tempered by faith, becomes the mortar of miracles.